What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to welcome to a new Civilization 5 AI only battle. I'm trying to get everything right here. The Asia battle, as promised. It was promised a week ago, and sadly it crashed. But I found the problem civ, so we'll get into all of that. We'll go over the roster, but first we'll go over the map, and also remove some of these units that I've obviously missed while we do that. But yeah, with regards to the map, I couldn't get the big map that I wanted for all of Asia to work. So India and like the middle, it didn't actually have the Middle East. I don't think the one I wanted to use. There is a bigger one in this pack as well. Oh no, there was a huge one that did have the Middle East. That was the one that didn't work 2 weeks ago anymore. After I'd finally picked all the civs. Then there's a bigger one in this new. There's a new yet not another Earth map pack. We use that, or a new version of it, which has loads of maps and loads of areas broken down. So I'm sure we'll be using that a lot more. So that's what we're using. There was a big Asia map in that with like India, and it sort of had Persia, that sort of area in it, and a bit more of Siberia. But I just couldn't really get enough civs that would work, mod-wise. India in particular, there was like a mod pack with lots of Indian civs that just wasn't loading for me and stuff like that. So we'll give that a separate, that region will get a separate game at some other point. But yeah, we went for the East Asia map of that pack, which sort of covers here. So you've got Southeast Asia, you've got all of China, up to Korea, and then obviously a bit of the desert towards Mongolia here in the corner, and then we also have Japan in the sea. But yeah, the broken civ was a mod for North Korea, which has changed this Korea. It changes this one to South Korea, and they look a bit like Portugal, but they are vanilla Korea. So this is just normal Korea from Civ 5, but just bear that in mind. But yeah, we'll go over the other civs. So we've got Hojo's Japan. We did have another civ down here, but they were actually, I looked at a Google map. I looked at, or a map, I guess, but yeah, on Google. And that was actually not where they were supposed to spawn, so we've removed them. And they weren't doing too well in the other test anyway. Burma, oh yeah, and like I say, I've moved some of the civs around, so they are not perfect. A lot of them spawn, you know, in real life, are very near each other, so it's kind of a balanced TSL approach. For example, Burma is here. That isn't right? It's up here somewhere, in theory, but we've got the Shan States, which is in Burma in real life, so I'm 99% sure on that one. So again, these two would be right next to each other. There's two Siams as well, so some of them are a bit, you know, they are where they spawned in this case, some of them, or they're just not TSL. But this is a new Siam. We'll call them new Siam. This will be old Siam or whatever. We'll call them something like that. We have the Khmer here, which I think is a little bit more accurate, but probably again not perfect. But again, they'll just all be too near each other if we got it bang on. The Champa, again, they're just filling up this region. Same goes for the civs in China. A lot of them didn't spawn necessarily as TSL, so we've just left them be. I moved one of them that was just spawned completely outside of China back into sort of its kind of correct location. But yeah, so Mongolia's obviously, they are in the right spot. Mao's China, obviously Shanghai, this is nowhere near Shanghai, but I think this is, if you play Hearts of Iron, this is kind of close to where they spawn initially. So, I mean, there's something in there. Here we have another China. There's a lot of Chinas as well, so we're going to have to get used to finding names for different ones. This is Chiang Kai-shek's China. It's a very troll face, isn't it, right there? But, yeah, that is who this guy Civ is. We'll call them Chiang Kai-shek's China, probably. Obviously, here we'll have People's Republic of China. Here is the Xia. We're going to call these guys Tang China this time because there's just so many Chinas. So they are vanilla China, but obviously the Xia turns them into Tang. So we'll just call them Tang China probably, or original China, something like that. Here we have Liao. Again, I don't know if their spawn place is correct. I was just trying to actually, no, theirs is the one I moved. They're probably the closest to somewhat being right. I mean, they're probably not bang on, you know, they're probably a few tiles out, but I tried. Obviously, a lot of these civs, in theory, are based just, you know, all their capitals would have been some variant of Beijing or nearby. And then we have Ming here as well. Now, this coast area does look very open, but they actually just kind of ignored it last time, weirdly enough, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. And then, yeah, we have South Korea, or just Korea, and Japan. So not as many civs as normal, so it's going to be quite a quick game. But be sure to make your picks. We have the info addicts on, because there's not too many civs. Yeah, Singapore was the one that got removed. And you see some of the others, they did spawn in, but there's no place for them on this map. So Bengal is one that I was trying in India. It's when I reloaded the game, I wasn't sure. I sort of looked at the map, I was like, okay, what civs can we put in? And then I completely forgot when I was turning on the mods. But yeah, it's deity difficulty, standard speed, Asia small map, you can see there. I think that's what it's called. It's not actually small. No city raising, no barbarians, complete kills, no ancient ruins, quick combat, quick movement. Oh yeah, there's a load of culture things, but we turn them all on so anyone could spawn. It's part of the new map pack that I'm using. I'll give you the name of that in a second. Science. Oh, why did it do? Okay, domination only was on, but it's decided. Okay, that might be broken then because it is domination only. Okay, like that. I can tell you it is. Like that is what was ticked. So I don't know what happened that time. I specifically made sure to tick it. But oh well, it doesn't matter too much. Right, where am I trying to find mods? Here we go. So what is on? Aggressive and expansive AI is on. The Champa is a civ. There's a load of civs here that didn't spawn in, but the Shan States is there. I'm not sure who that is, it doesn't say. Singapore, who's not used. Faster plot expansion though is on. Gedemon's yet not another Earth map pack. Version 25 is where you can get the map. Obviously there's some other civs that just didn't get turned on. The in-game editor obviously I used to set the game up. Info addicts are on so we can see what's going on. North Korean civilization would not recommend. I think they were the problem. One of their city names didn't work, so that's why I tested them out first as maybe the first place that was wrong, and it seemed to work from last week. And there's some of the other civs if you want to have a look, and obviously the DLL for 43 civs is required if you would like to play with this many civs. Now as there's not as many civs as normal, it's going to go a lot quicker, as you can see, very fast turn 1, or turn 2, sorry. But also, we're going to try and be able to keep up to date, keep on top of who's got what. Hopefully we can remember things a bit easier, keep an eye on the religions and stuff. It's going to be just easier to keep track of wars, stuff like that, because there is not as many civs. And they're all going to be fairly big civs because there's quite a bit of land still. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But obviously I've seen sort of what might happen up to turn 70, but that had North Korea in particular making a difference. Singapore sort of just sat in the Philippines and did nothing. And then obviously I realised Singapore is not in the Philippines. So we got rid of them anyway. But there we go. I mean, I've left those islands open. Could be interesting if someone goes and settles them. Maybe a chance for the Southeast Asian nations to go do some more stuff. But here we go. Everyone, apart from Korea, has put down their second city, so we'll go over some of those early on. Oh, and the Khmer as well. We're going to just go with Khmer. It's easier than saying Khmer or something and thinking I'm getting it horribly wrong. I think last time we did check, there is 3 different correct pronunciations. There's a British one, a US one, and like the world one. So we're going to use Khmer. It sounds easier. But here we have Burma with their 2 cities already. Siam has already moved west. The Khmer did move up north towards the Shan States here, who got their city to the south. We then have the Champa, who have sort of blocked off the rest of the mountains and moved in the other direction. And we're starting to get some Pantheons founded too. New Siam has settled sort of west of their own city, but that's going to be interesting. Again, they're kind of... the positions aren't perfect, but it's what we're working with. We've waited so long for this game, we just need something. Ming here has gone east with their city. South for Liao. Tang has gone west of Beijing. The Xia went west towards the desert, where we obviously see the People's Republic of China moving their settler northwest. Mongolia have gone to the south, and Chiang Kai-shek has just moved slightly east and already has a 3rd settler, as did the Xia. And then Korea went north with Busan, and Japan grabbed Osaka just within their territory. There is a few Pantheons. I think we'll just wait a few turns and then read when there's a few more instead of keep opening and checking. Turn 20 we'll have a look, but most technologies... I would say everyone's on 9, but a lot of them are on 9. But then, so how many? There's 15 competitors. There you go. So maybe we're going to do top 5, maybe this time instead of a top 10. But whatever. Mongolia with 7 technologies. Siam with 8. 8 again for... who is this? Burma. I'm just forgetting everyone. 8 for the Champa. So Mongolia is doing the worst, but they are in the desert, so maybe that makes sense. The Khmer and Chiang Kai-shek's China also 1 behind. I mean, they may only be a turn behind. Maybe they picked one that takes longer. Don't worry, but don't be too concerned just yet. It's only turn 16. Another Pantheon, the Shan States. That is this civ over here. What have they gone? Goddess of festivals, culture and faith for wine and incense. I mean, there's a lot of wine over here, so I mean, it could help. Oh, they have 2 wine here as well, so that's extra faith and culture. I don't see any incense around. Oh no, is this incense? No, that's cotton. Yeah, I don't see any incense around, but there's a good chance they get 5 wine. So that's already a good start for them to get some extra culture and faith. I will now have a look. Who else got a Pantheon? I think there's 2 other ones. The Khmer, yes, okay. The Khmer got increased in ranged combat strength for their cities, so they're going to be good defensively. And oral tradition for Liao, which is 1 culture from plantation. So the Khmer here will be able to defend their cities a little bit better. Extra defensive strength. It feels really buggy. I don't know what's going on. I think it's because I had to unplug my other monitor again. I'm just not going to use it anymore. And Liao here is the one for plantations, and as you can see, 1, 2, 3 sugar plantation opportunities already. There's a chance for a 4th here, a 5th here, and then there's obviously wine, you get 6, and if they get to the dyes, that's 7, 8. There's even further out, there's silk. So yeah, that's a great one. They're definitely going to get a lot of extra faith from that. And here we go, we've got another Pantheon. Who is this? This is South Korea with Goddess of the Hunts. They'll get 1 food from camps. I mean, they have a truffle resource, so that's at least 1 extra bit of food. There's deer here, so that's 2. I mean, this is not the best choice. I guess maybe there's more truffles and deers up here and foxes in the tundra, so that could be more useful if they get out that way, or fur, but you know, it is from a fox. And the first wonder goes to Mao Zedong, grabbing the Great Library. So there we go, that's a free technology for them and some extra science. So a good start for them up here in the northwestern part of the map. Now my way of how I spoke about it in the previous episode that obviously never came out, I sort of divided the map into 4 areas, right? Southeast Asia, which is definitely already the most populated and full area. They have a lot of rainforest, they could be good at science, didn't really put that one forward. We then have Western China, which I was considering as sort of these 4 civs. The Xia, although they are going east as well. The Xia, Mongolia, People's Republic of China, and Chiang Kai-shek's China. Then we had Eastern China, although there's not too many civs here. This is more of an open area for civs to go to. This is the 3rd area, which you've obviously got New Siam. I guess this China as well is kind of straddling that area. And another area, you've got Liao, Ming, and I mean the Xia will join in as well. And then Eastern Asia, I mean it's a little bit depleted now without the North Korean civ that we had, but we have South Korea and Japan. But obviously some of those areas can merge a little bit now. I mean, maybe it's easier to divide it another way, or just not divide it. But there we go. Siam has a 3rd city over here, so they may steal away some of this wine from the Shan, which could annoy them. The Champa got their 3rd city pushing east. Good move. There's a lot of open space out here. I think that's the way to go. Ming has not yet done it, but there we go. The Xia got their 3rd city here, moving eastwards. Neither of these. Someone else had one. Who was it? Oh, it was the Xia. Okay, I was getting confused then. What else we got? Pantheon. Burma has gone for Sacred Path. 1 culture from Jungle Tiles. They're probably not, you know, going to be the best of these civs to get that, but you know, some of the other options have gone. So yeah, an extra culture, 3 already. I mean, that's an early start as well. There's more here. Yeah, this could work. And obviously, if you grab some more of your neighbouring area, it's not the worst thing to do. Yongle has entered. I have no idea who is Yongle. We should probably get familiar with the leaders. And you, yeah, I don't know who either of those are. So we'll have a look around, try and get familiarised with the leaders. As you can see here, the Korean flag is back to normal. It's because North Korea had the vanilla Korea colours, but they're gone. But they got the Temple of Artemis, so that's more food for them, and obviously we know they're going to get bonus food from camp, so we might see a big population in Korea. But right, let's have a look. Obviously we know Korea's... Actually, I don't want to say that. Is it Seondeok, or is that Civ 6? No, it's Sejong. There we go, I'm getting the wrong games. Sejong of Korea, Hojo in Japan. No, Tojo, not Hojo. Hojo's Civ 6 too. Wu Zishan in Tang. I don't know who their leader is. Shengzong of the Great Liao. There we go. Shengzong. Yongle is the leader of Ming. That's a beautiful background. And then his face looks very plasticine-y. I don't know. Looks like he's made out of clay. Yu is the Xia. There we go. I don't think I've ever seen this screen. Because when I have like 40 civs, it never loads in the mod leader pages. Because it can only show like 12 or whatever, 20, whatever it is. Mongolia here with a nice animated one. Here's Mao. Chiang Kai-shek we've seen. The Champa's leader is Bongna, Che Bongna. I think I do know, I would have remembered that one if it had come up. Saulon is the leader of the Shan States, another cool background. Just a very mystical sort of setting. The Khmer, again, lovely background. Burma's leader is Anrata. Who is the leader of the Khmer? Sorry, Jivaman. Okay, well that's the same as Civ 6, so I should remember that. And Siam is obviously Ramkam Haim. And I think the leader of this Siam is called Rama. Yeah, Rama the 5th. He looks more modern, but maybe a descendant of Ramkam Meng. Same sort of name. Lovely palace for him as well. They've all got big palaces, that's for sure. And we have... Oh no, they did this in the other one as well. Although I think it was in a different order. I think they went for 3 cities at home before. But there we go. Another city for Chiang Kai-shek's China. Absolutely miles away. But there we go. Mongolia also grabbing a 3rd. And Korea has entered the classical era. Already. Making a good start. Has anyone else got 3 yet? I'm just trying to keep an eye on things. Not as I can see. China completes the Stonehenge, so that should I think that's a great profit, isn't it? So that's Is it? They don't have one. I thought it was. Maybe not. I thought they'd be guaranteed a religion. I guess because they don't have a Pantheon, maybe it didn't come through, I don't know. Either way. Golden Age for us, but Mao has been the third wonder, and he's second of the game. Key to note. He's got the Great Library, so that was some extra science. Now he's got the Hanging Gardens, which gives him 15% extra food, I believe it is, not 25. 15%, I believe, in the city. I can't remember, I get confused. I think in Civ 6, it's like, in one of them, it's 25% in the specific city, and in one of them, it's like 15% everywhere. So again, I'm sorry if I get that. But it's going to mean more food for him, and Shanghai looks like it's the biggest city in the world anyway. And look at all these wheat farms. They have so much food. On top with the Hanging Gardens on top of that, that's going to be some massive food yields for the People's Republic of China. And here we go, Pantheon. Who is this? Tang has gone for Sun God. 1 food from banana, citrus, and wheat. Thank goodness Mao didn't get that. He'd be getting a ton of faith. What did that say? Wheat, citrus, and bananas. Do they have? They have 1 wheat farm. I feel like the AI is not really getting their choices that they want, but there we go. That is that. Obviously, we saw them get Stonehenge. That should put them on the way to getting a religion. I mean, most of these civs should be able to get one. I mean, was there 8 religions normally available? I don't know if it would be less because there's 15 civs. You know, 1 in 2 should get a religion. China currently leading, most well-fed, ahead of Mao. Surprised to see Mao at the top of this list, but there you go. Korea then sits in 3rd. We also saw them get the Temple of Artemis as well. Champa then sit 4th. Who's got the least food in the world? Well, us, but the Khmer not doing too well food-wise. And Chiang Kai-shek complete. Oh, you got another city here in eastern China. Things starting to kick off a little bit. And he completes the Mausoleum, a telekinesis, which I think is bonuses for quarries, which they have a couple of. Maybe mines as well, but definitely quarries. No, I think it's stone and marble that you get bonuses from for having that. So that's, you know, going to fit. And we have our first religion, plus a few other things coming through. The Shan States give us the first religion of Buddhism, and they did settle here to grab those other 2 wine resources so they can get that extra faith and culture from them at some point. There we go, they made some progress. They did get another settler up as well, so we'll keep an eye on where that ends up. So there we go, that's done. That was Buddhism. We'll have a look at the beliefs in a second. Japan grabbing the Great Lighthouse, which will give them extra movement in the water, which is actually great, right? They are the one civ that needs to be good in the water if they're going to influence this game. I'm hoping they sort of settle these islands. It is kind of set up for them to do so now, so I'm really hoping that they can get that done. That you can see, oh, that's Korea is the first civ with a cargo ship, but Japan is exploring the water as well. And we have the pyramids completed by the Jar, which will grant them a free couple of lots of builders. They have a ton of workers. They have more than enough for how many tiles they're going to have. And shortly followed with our second religion, both coming out of Southeast Asia so far. The Khmer bring us Catholicism. So there we go. That one is not quite. Most of the religions in the game do originate in Asia, but Catholicism, one of them that isn't necessarily. But here we go. And 4th city for the Shan States. I think this region's going to have the wars first. It just seems pretty obvious. We did see a 3rd city from New Siam up here, pushing towards the Champa. And they've just completed the Parthenon. And the Champa have now grabbed a city here, which will split the Khmer a little bit. And I mean, one day these borders might connect, so it could work out. And Japan has now got a Pantheon. They have gone for Messenger of the Gods, which will give them 2 science in cities with a city connection. Well, Osaka is, I think, yeah, there is a road under there, so that's connected. So there you go, that's already 2 science bonus, nice and early on. And they do have a settler already leaving Japan. That's actually really exciting. That's what we want to see. We want to see them go and influence the rest of the game, not just hide over here. There's some civs enter the medieval era. The People's Republic of China completes their 3rd wonder with the statue of Zeus this time, which I believe will grant them. I think grant you, like, is it this one that gives? No, there's one that gives a free cargo ship. I don't think it's this one though, is it? It might be. Obviously not so useful for them at the moment. Mongolia now has 5 cities. They are looking always ominous in the corner of the map. China has grabbed their 3rd, or Tang. We can just call them China, I guess. Original China, whatever we come out with. I'm sure you'll know who I mean if I'm looking at them. Settles here, pretty near to the random Chiang Kai-shek China city. And the Xia grabbed their 4th city to the north, Taipei here, to sort of keep Mongolia trapped. The map filling up very quickly. The only real open space is down here. And for some reason, Ming isn't keen on settling. So we'll see this area be quite open, probably for a while. Liao does have their 3rd settler. I'm not sure where exactly that's heading, because it's getting very awkward. I'm concerned if it keeps going that way. But luckily they've turned around. So that's good. They might come back along. I'd love to see them go along the coast or something. Could be quite cool. 38 turns in. We should get our first wars probably fairly soon. Obviously, it's going to be a bit different because some of the things will obviously happen the same, but some things will be different. The Khmer complete the Great Wall. So we already saw their Pantheon, and I guess now their religion, was based on good city extra 30% ranged city attacks. So now having this Great Wall is going to make them a really strong civ for defense. They're going to be, hard to invade. Now, obviously, a concern for them is already their borders have sort of been split, but I think that's going to be quite interesting just to see them. They're going to be very tough, at least until like artillery and units like that become available. And we have another wonder. That is Ming. I believe, yeah, it is Ming. It seems like a darker color here, but no, it is the same. Ming with the Terracotta Army. So there we go. They just got a couple of extra units. That's a nice little boost. They got an extra spearman and some extra bowmen, an extra warrior as well. So yeah, really good. And I think they probably got an extra scout. I don't know, does it count scouts? It doesn't look like they got an extra scout just chilling around, but there you go, maybe they did. But let's have a quick look at the religions. So far, beliefs, oh, that's a mess. Okay. You know what, we will recap these probably at the end of this episode, just to make it easier so people can make their picks. We'll try and get to like turn 50, and then I think we'll make our picks or something. South Korea has founded their new religion, Confucianism, out this way. So I think that's the first. Oh no, Islam did pop up in Liao. Maybe I missed that. Sorry about that. So we have two religions in now the northeastern side of the map. One for Liao, one for Korea. Still quite a distance apart, There's 7 or 8 tiles between them. A few more civs entering the medieval era. The Khmer have enhanced their religion further. And now Taoism is founded here. So there we go. 3 religions now in these 3 bordering nations. So they're gonna probably only one of them's gonna do super well. But we've obviously seen that there's a few religions in Southeast Asia in a similar spot. And there we go, Siam grabs the Oracle. That will be a free social policy for them. Have we got any new cities around? I'm just looking. The Champa did grab... No, this was always here. This is the new one. Yeah, that's the new one that's blocked off these tiles. We do have a settler here from the Khmer. I mean, this area is going to be like a mess. I'm guaranteeing that already. The Jar did sneak one in behind Chiang Kai-shek's China, and annoyingly the amount of mountains here, I mean, this could be very difficult to get in. If you settle in these mountains, it's going to be very hard to be kicked out. So we saw Mongolia with 5 cities. They have not added anything to that just yet. Everywhere else is looking pretty similar. Japan did grab this southern island here with the city of Kyoto, so they are making some progress, and they look like they're pretty stacked with units as well. And they've now got some cargo ships crossing to Korea. Most literate. Now they're not as close. So now Mao, who we obviously saw get the Great Libraries doing well, the Champa doing well, and maybe a lot of rainforest in there. You need universities for that. But yeah, Champa are doing well. Korea, obviously a very good scientific civ at the best of times, or the worst of times I should say. So yeah, they're up there as well. And then just behind that we've got the Jar on 19. Then there's another drop again to Chiang Kai-shek, Siam, Mongolia, Ming, Japan and Burma at 18. That's about average. And then the strugglers, we got New Siam, regular China, Khmer, the Shan States, and Liao is actually the worst right now at 16. If you discount me, don't include me. And we have our first war, Champa versus the Shan States. Now actually no, okay, Champa has a ton of units. Oh my goodness. Right, here we go. Now, because this game is going to be a quick game, I mean, we're already at turn 50, I think, and there's not as many civs, we're going to be more in depth. I'm going to quickly do an info addict breakdown. We've just hit turn 50. I'll let you make your picks. So yeah, this is going to be more of an in-depth game, where we try and really keep on top of what's going on. And we also got Japan versus Korea this turn, so we'll break down those wars in just a second. But yeah, we're going to stop. I'm not going to go any further than turn 50 today for this episode. But we'll have a look right now at the info at it. Let's just check. No one's been settled. Let's go over the region. So here's Burma so far with a unique unit down here. We've got Siam with 3. The Shan States here with 4. Khmer with 2. Champa got 4, including this sort of one that's been cut off now. These have all cut each other off. The New Siam is down here with like no units. What are these civs building? Look at the Champa. Look at them. It's crazy. Obviously they must be building buildings or other things. There we go. The Khmer with a camouflage city hiding right there. You can hardly see that compared to, like, it's the same sort of green as the background. Ming here, just good population, but not doing too much. Chiang Kai-shek's China, 3 cities. There's also got a random one up there as well. It's a random Jar city, but apart from that, there's Jar with 4 cities and a good military. People's Republic of China doing well for science. You got 5 from Mongolia. There's that random city. China with 3. we then have... yeah, but if you comment Tang, T-A-N-G, if you want to pick this China to win, just to make it easy. Obviously, don't just put China, because there's so many Chinas. If you want to put, I mean, I don't know, Chiang Kai-shek's probably difficult to spell. How is it spelled? Chiang Kai-shek. Well, there it is if you want to put them as your pick, or if not, just put blue China or something. Just make it really obvious. Like, if you put green China or blue China, the Xia is X-I-A, although their name changes throughout the game anyway, but we stick with the Xia just for memory. And then obviously this is People's Republic of China, Mao's China, Red China, whatever you prefer. Those are all options just to make it easy for me to distinguish your picks. Liao do have their settler, but they haven't gone anywhere yet, so they're still with 2. Korea with 2, and looking pretty healthy. And obviously they're now going to have to defend Japan. They should be okay here. Japan with their 3 cities. So let's have a little look at the info addicts right now. We're in 1000 BC. We can actually use the graphs for once, because there's not as many civs. At the moment, it's still a bit of a mess, and score's not the best category anyway, but for some of these categories, it could be worth looking at. Military size, oh, that's because that was me building all those giant death robots, so it's going to take a while till we can really understand this graph. I had like 30 at one point, so obviously it's going to be completely messed up. But production, for example, who is this? Is that the Xia just taking a big leap into the lead? But yeah, some of these graphs could get more interesting as we go forward. I think we'll leave them for now, but next time they could be definitely more interesting. Here you go. So biggest population, we will do the top 5s, because again, there's 15 civs, so apologies. I mean, that's the best way. So China leading the way currently, or Mao's China, then Tang China in 2nd, Champa in 3rd, Ming in 4th, and the Xia in 5th. So the Chinese nations with the most population so far. Crop yield, we have the Champa, then the Xia, then the Shan States, Tang China, and People's Republic of China. Production, the Xia lead the way, then it's Chiang Kai-shek's China, with a big lead, by the way, for the Xia there. Mao's China's 3rd, Champa, and then Japan. We are using GMP now. I've switched back. The Xia is 1st for that one. Then it is Ming, Tang China, the Shan, and Chiang Kai-shek's China. Land, the Xia just about leading Mongolia. Then the Shan States in 3rd, Tang China 4th, and Chiang Kai-shek's China in 5th. Military manpower, again led by the Xia, so they've made a good start. The Champa in 2nd, Tang China, Mongolia, and then Japan in 5th place. As we'll see with some of our wars, Japan has an advantage of about 23,000 troops, or 50% on Korea. But obviously the geography will make that a bit of a, it's not an easy win for Japan by any means. The other one, the Champa, are obviously 67,000 in 2nd. The Shan all the way down here at 31,000. Again, they're going to be relying on geography and some good defending to help them out in their war. Social policies, a lot of 7s. Liao, Xia, Ming, Tang, Burma, and Mao. Happiness, as long as no one's negative, that's more what we keep an eye on. No one is at the moment. Technologies, 16 still for Liao. Weren't they on that a minute ago when we had that list? Maybe that list wasn't that long ago. But the Champa has now stormed into the lead on 21. Then is South Korea and Mao at 20. The Xia and Siam at 19. Net gold, we're not using anymore for my results. But I mean, only Japan is losing money already. But they probably can't get the best. Well, they can only trade with Korea. And they just invaded Korea. So yeah, that makes sense. Cities then, who's got the most? Mongolia and the Xia with 5, Chiang Kai-shek, China, the Shan States, and Champa all with 4. The Khmer, Japan, Siam, Tang, other Siam, China, oh no, not Mao's China, and Siam have 3, 2 for Mao's China, South Korea, Great Liao, Great Ming, and Burma. Science output, who's got the most? South Korea leading the way, then the Xia, Champa, Tang, and the Shan States. Up there for that one. Culture-wise, Burma's leading the way, then Siam. Obviously, they're getting that extra culture from jungle tiles to help them out from their religion. Siam, China, Tang, and South Korea. Wonders, 3 for Mao's China, and then 1 for Ming, 1 for the Xia, 1 for Japan, the Khmer, South Korea, China, Chiang Kai-shek's China, Tang China, New Siam, and Old Siam. Treasury-wise, obviously some civs save and stuff, so it doesn't matter too much, although Great Ming's got plenty of money. Total faith, we'll look at the religions in a second. Influence, no. Trade routes, 2 for Ming, 2 for Champa, 2 for China. Both have the Mao and Chiang Kai-shek's China, 2 for Burma. And then tourism, there's a couple with 2, but it's not too important right now. Right, let's have a little look at the religion overview for the final part of this episode. So let's go over the religion. So Taoism, so this is Tang China, original green Wu Zixin's China. So they obviously have faith to purchase. Okay, so they have, hang on, so their founder belief. Does it show Pantheon separately? I don't know if it does it. No, Their pantheons included. Oh yeah, here's sun god. Sorry. So we saw they got food from bananas, citrus, and wheat. They can also use faith to buy pagodas that will give them faith, culture, and also I'm sure there's some other benefits that I can't. It sadly doesn't show me everything. I can't remember all of them. And they also got initiation rights, which will give 100 gold when they convert cities. So we might see them with a lot of money. Obviously, Japan just has a pantheon. Now, Islam was founded by Liao, I believe. Sorry if I've got that wrong. Yes, Liao. So, okay. So what have they got? They got 6 beliefs already. 20% just war, 20% combat strength near enemy cities that follow that religion. So if they can convert their neighbours, they'll find it easier to attack them. But obviously that might not be the case just with what happened. Happiness for every 2 cities following the religion. And temples will provide happiness in cities with 5 followers. So they're going to not have many happiness issues. All buildings purchased with faith will give tourism. So that's quite nice. 2 production if a city has a specialist. That's a nice little bonus. And obviously we see they're getting their culture from plantations. Now Confucianism is Korea. They can use their faith to buy mosques, which will give faith, culture, and again maybe something else. 2 gold for each city following the religion. So there's only 2 at the moment, I believe, but still that could be useful if they spread their religion. I think it's going to be very contested between all these religions in the northeast part of the map, so maybe not as useful. And 1 food from any camps. Now Catholicism is the Khmer. 30% increased in city range strength. Obviously that's going to help them defend. Use faith to purchase any type of great person straight away. I don't know exactly what that says. I'm sorry. It's st ... I'm sure someone can maybe fill in the gaps for me. Gain science when a missionary or prophet spreads the religion. That's quite nice. Use faith to purchase monasteries for more faith. And again, something else. Missionary conversion strength up 25%. They have a lot of abilities. And they can use their faith to buy land units. So they've just got a real all over the place. I feel like they've got lots of choices. They've picked a lot of things. But they were probably like actually no, they were one of the first. But it feels like they just pick it, like scraping the barrel. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be much strategy to that religion anyway. It just seems like they've randomly picked some cool things that they want. And Buddhism is, I believe, the Shan's religion. I'll just check that. But yeah, Buddhism is there. Is that yours? Yes. Okay. So there we go. So that's everyone. So no real religion. The only area that's really religionless entirely is the Mongolia, Xia, People's Republic of China, and Chiang Kai-shek China kind of region. That northwest, western China area when I divided the map into areas. And because Burma has a pantheon and Japan has a pantheon, we might not see them get one. I don't know if there's any left. Maybe there is. And obviously if Burma and Japan get religions, there won't be. But there we go. So let's have a look. Goddess of festivals, 1 culture and faith for the wine and incense. Yep, use faith to buy cathedrals, faith and culture. Shrines and temples will give food. There we go, a little bit of extra food. 2 faith for each foreign city they can convert. Could be useful. And religion spread to friendly city-states. I mean, they must have just scraped the barrel for that one, or had hope that they would find a city-state, because there is none on this map. But there we go. That will be it for episode 1. Now it is time for me to make my pick. And I have no idea. I always sort of try to pick somebody that I want to win, not who I think is going to win. And here I don't really know. It does look like the Xia and the Champa are the safe bets. They seem to be doing great. But I'm not going to pick one of those. I am going to pick... Actually, I kind of want to pick one of those. Mao. I picked Mao last time and he kind of won and he kind of didn't. So that was kind of nice. But who are we going to go with? We are going to go with... I still have no idea. I really want to pick Ming. I always like picking a new mod when we throw them in, but they don't seem to be doing too good. So I'm going to go with an out there pick. I'm going to go with a Civ that I think has some opportunities to expand and can hopefully make the most of them, and has kind of a unique approach to this game compared to every other Civ, and that's Japan. I want to see Japan, get all these islands and just be like navally pillaging all of the coast of Asia like pirates almost. That's what I want to see. I want something like that. That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm going to go with Japan. Let me know who you pick. Of course, if you do pick correctly, you'll get a shout out at the in the results. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and keep an eye out for the next episode on Tuesday.